Oh, I like that.
What do you mean an alien?
A space one. A space alien.
So your tutor ran a computer simulation.
Hey, great jacket.
Well, yeah, more like you got like trapped inside one.
Can that happen?
Yeah, it's an alien.
The space one.
Great banter.
Yeah. The Pope in person.
The Pope in your flat here.
Yeah.
Again, love the beautiful tones of the skin there. The color grading. Oh my god, of course.
Miss Potts,
Third time's a charm?
I have flown here today to speak to the president.
Hmm.
I'm told you might be able to help.
I don't know the president.
Oh, you know, the
How
doctor
do I know the
president.
The doctor.
What's he president of?
Well,
All of it. Zygon invasion.
Earth.
What's dormant?
The pyramid. We are keeping it under observation.
Hmm. Should I even be
What
there?
else he been doing?
One little problem.
Yeah.
Wasn't there yesterday.
Shouldn't be there. Hey. Okay, good to be back, man. Good to be back. At the end, the pyramid at the end of the world. Okay. I've seen similar titles before.
The end of your life has already begun.
Hmm.
There is
I mean-
the last place you will ever go. The last door you will ever walk through is moving you closer.
I mean, since birth, essentially.
Don't shut the door!
Ooh.
And somewhere, unnoticed,
Sorry.
in silence or in darkness.
Silence or in
already
darkness.
You talking
Yeah.
to yourself in there?
Interesting perspective.
It's a matter of a pyramid.
Matter of a pyramid. That could have been a good title, actually. Agrofield research operations. Ah, okay. Something going on here. Kind of almost ties in immediately to the opening. The end of the world and all of that. The big stuff's over here, and then they're showing me this.
You okay mixing it? I broke my reading glasses.
Ah. Little things happening, eh? Changing the course of the day. I like it. Who's watching? Who's watching? They're watching. Okay. Let's put a pin in that. Ah, not bad.
It wasn't there yesterday.
Therefore,
It's not really a pyramid.
Hmm.
It's something disguised as a pyramid that just appeared out of thin air. And that's all way beyond human technology, so it's gotta be alien. It's an alien spaceship.
Hey,
go.
good deductions.
We know you. Then you'll know that there is a line on the sand. And I'm the man on the other side of it.
Hmm.
You want to keep me that way?
11:57 p.m.
Yeah, mine too.
3 minutes to?
Also known as 3 minutes to midnight. The doomsday clock.
Doomsday clock.
Somewhere. Somehow. The end has begun.
Huh? Okay, transitions to this. Okay, this is about to escalate into something big. Big things have small beginnings. Oh, not good. Not good. Not ideal. Okay, so this is about to kick everything off, eh? Something that's about to happen here. Oh. Russia.
This is Xiaolian.
Ooh.
She's in charge of the Chinese army.
Bringing them together, eh?
To each other.
Ooh, 2 minutes to midnight. So this is... The setup here dictates that this is essentially a misdirection, right? Because they keep going to that other place, the research facility. Misdirection for them as characters, you know, within the narrative. That's my take on it at the moment, at least.
What's wrong with him? What's wrong with the doctor?
I think Bill should be able to put it together by now. You know, now it's doing her character a disservice, you know? The writing of it, that she's not able to just realize that, okay, clearly.
Did Nardole send you to speak to me?
Might have done. Might have said there was something you ought to tell me.
Oh, okay. I guess it is going there. Ah, I mean, that's beautiful. Look at that. Bit of body humor. Oh boy. This man's unprofessional behavior might trigger something unstoppable, eh? Chemicals or contagions or who knows. Oh, I love a good silhouette shot.
The human race is about to
Nardole.
chain of events is already in motion.
Yeah.
Life on Earth will cease by humanity's own hand.
I love Nardole's shadow projected onto that wall or onto those doors.
The simulation machine looks a bit different from the outside.
Ah,
Modeling the future.
threads.
Each thread is a chain of days leading to your end.
The threads of time, perhaps.
Catastrophe is about to occur. And stop it from occurring.
You don't look much like
Oh.
guardian angels.
We have chosen this form to look like you.
You look like corpses.
You are corpses to us.
Interesting.
The world is ending.
That's not really their true form then.
To save you, we must be asked.
To be let in. Yeah, he said something earlier.
How long for? Forever.
I like that, you know, it's not about force. It's a bit of a different approach. Let us in.
If you do not ask for help, then see the day.
Let the right one in. Ah, they get to access it?
The threads that lead to 1 year in your future
Ah, threads of time indeed.
as proof.
Yeah, they're about to see some serious shit, aren't they? Oh, great shot. Really? Ah, interesting. The Tree of Life.
Dead as the moon.
You seem pretty damn calm about it.
Yeah, it doesn't shock him all that much.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's not my first dead planet. Why do you need to be asked? Power must consent. Power must
Ooh.
consent? What does that mean? Those who hold power on this world
Authority.
must consent to our dominion.
Yeah. I like this approach. It's different.
We must be loved. To rule through fear is inefficient. Of course, fear is temporary. Love is slavery.
Oh,
I consent now.
that's quick.
No, don't do this. Please don't even.
Hold on now, brother.
So it's real.
Just stop this.
This is not going to be good, is it?
Is impure, it will kill you.
Oh god, so...
Pure. What does that mean? Impure. You act out of fear.
Ah.
Fear is not consent. Without our help, planet Earth is doomed.
Hold on.
Well, it's been doomed before.
Many times.
Guess what happened? Me.
I'm not.
You're on the front lines. Doesn't matter if you're just soldiers in the field.
Neither am I.
Is that enough though?
This is amazing.
What do you think, Mr. President?
Still 1 minute to midnight.
It made no difference.
Because yeah,
How
it's
could
the other
this make
thing.
no difference.
Because it's not you who's going to end the world. What do we assume was going to happen?
World War III.
But it didn't. The trick with misdirection, don't look where the arrow is pointing, look what it's pointing away from. So, what's already on our radar that we should be worried about right now?
I'm not being afraid. I'm being smart.
Yeah, being smart is not giving away your planet.
Might not be up to you, Doctor.
I'm feeling biochemical. Check biochemical trials.
Yes, sir.
Because whatever the price is, it's too high.
We'll work it out.
Oh boy.
128.
It's too many, and we don't even know if you're right.
Well, I probably am.
3 against
Probably
1.
isn't good enough.
Well, probably is all you've got. It's your planet. You can't just give it away.
It's our planet.
Hmm.
Our choice.
You can't make a deal with them. You don't know what you're agreeing to. I don't know. Would you make the deal?
No, not if I had a choice. But we don't,
See that? Yeah.
do we?
It's
They
your
make-
world.
Not anymore.
They make it seem like yeah, you're coming for their help, but they leave you no other options, right? Or they put you in this type of situation.
Well, for a start, I'm going to tell you the truth. I've been keeping a secret from you.
Oh, here it comes. About time. Oh. Oh. He's not doing it.
We can blind them. With feeds to unit.
Ah,
80.
blind them. Okay.
Can you hack them?
Cut off the feed.
So all we need
Ah.
to do is which lab just got its cameras back.
But you would think the monk are clever enough to just turn them all back on, but I guess not. Slipped up there.
My God.
No, I'm the doctor. But it's an easy mistake to make. The eyebrow.
Ah.
How did you do that? What is that thing?
It's not Dole. It's not my fault. Back to the TARDIS. This place is toxic.
Oh no. It does affect him.
Put it in a flame.
Heat it up? Ah, flame.
She's got it. By George, she's got it.
A great reference.
You act out of strategy. Strategy is not consent.
Oh god. And that leaves Bill.
Do you consent?
I don't have any power. I'm nobody.
You represent the great.
Right. President Doctor.
You need to use a combination lock.
Oh god.
3614.
And he's blind. But it's got a camera, right? It can record. So he can kind of call for help. Kind of old-fashioned though, eh?
1 minute 20.
This is how she finds out.
I don't understand the problem.
Can't.
Why can't you?
It's time to tell her.
Blind.
There.
Sorry, I'm blind. I can't see them.
You are the stupidest idiot ever.
Oh
I'm not gonna let you die.
No, you have to.
Oh
There's no
no.
choice. No one else can help me now.
There's someone that can help.
The monks can help
The
you.
monks can help.
No.
Oh
Bill,
god.
No, don't do that.
This planet needs you. So I'm making an executive decision.
Ah.
I'm keeping you alive.
I don't know
It's
what
quite the
protection
trade-off.
allows them to do to you. You don't know what you're agreeing to.
I'm giving my consent.
Is your consent pure?
Yeah.
Just
It
give
is.
your sight back. You can have the world. Just make me see again.
Go on then. It's pure. It's quite the choice. It's like one of the biggest choices ever.
Out of love. Love is consent. We must.
Love is a lot of things. Oh. Yeah. But at what cost? I suppose I'll need part 3 for that.
Tell you what, old man. You better get my planet back.
Enjoy your sight, Doctor. Now see our.
Oh. Good ending. Good ending. Okay, episode 7, series 10, the follow-up to Extremis. But yeah, it's the first episode back for me actually. After a bit of a break, it's been a pretty long break, I'd say, from the show itself. It wasn't planned, but it just kind of happened. Life. The time I had for content creation became really quite limited, right? So I had to kind of pick and choose. But I'm back now. And it's a good feeling to be back, to see Mr. Capaldi again, and to see Bill Potts, to see Nardole even, and just the chemistry and all of that. So yeah, I'm really glad to be back. I am. But I'll be honest. Extremis is a much better episode. This isn't even nearly as good as that episode. If I'm being frank, it's quite a drop off. It is, there's just a lot of setup. It's simply just not as engaging as that last episode, right? Episode 6. That episode is essentially going to be like a top 5, possibly top 3 of the series for me, of series 10. Let's see, once it's all said and done. Still quite a few episodes to get to here. And get through. But, I'd say the conclusion of the episode is really quite strong. The setup, I suppose, for the things to come in the next part of this, because as of this point, it is now a trilogy, right? And that became clear really early on in this episode as well, because a lot of the stuff that's taking place in this episode felt like setup, a lot of table setting, right? And, in a sense, not all that much is really happening. I mean, listen, of course, there's some interesting moments, some compelling moments, some interesting writing, but maybe not all that much as a whole. But yeah, I'd say, the final phase, the final act of this episode, yeah, it picks up. It finally kind of really picks up. And the ending itself is a fantastic ending. The cliffhanger ending, Miss Potts making an executive decision. I'm a big fan of characters, supporting cast members, people that kind of have to step up or step in from time to time, and usually the Doctor's companions do find themselves in that position. Sometimes they have to make a decision, right? And there's no help, no input. You are in the hot seat and you have to make the choice. And she made one of the biggest choices of all, right? That a companion can make, like she said, executive decision, I'm here for that. I am. I like it. And, essentially, Bill does end up making the deal with the devil, right? And in this case, the devil is this omnipotent gang of monks, aliens rather, alien monks, I suppose. But, ultimately, they might not actually be the ones in control. Maybe there is a big bad behind the monks who sent them, right? Possibly. One of the interesting components of this, of the monks, I suppose, or this alien threat, is just, of course, the look and how they model themselves to look like corpses, because that's humanity to them, right? That's how humans, appear to them. Not appear to them, but that's just how they look at humans, right? So interesting, of course, really interesting approach to that. But also their approach to taking over, right? Time and time again, I've seen the whole, let's take over by force. Let's subjugate by force. You must kneel to us and all of that. Right, I've seen it time and time again in this show, in other shows. The Daleks are all about force. The Cybermen as well. So I've seen a lot of that. So this is actually quite a refreshing approach, I'd say. But listen, it's still not just as simple as that, right? They're still kind of manipulating. They're still kind of not strong-arming, but the whole situation is really in their favor. Right, it's a favorable situation that they've created, right, manipulated, and staged, essentially, right? They do take advantage of desperate situations that they put these people in, that they put these humans in, right, to force their hand, kind of funnel them to that one and only choice. But it's an interesting concept, this idea of love and consent, that they want to be loved and looked up to or worshipped. They despise the idea of doing it by force, ruling by force or fear. I mean, listen, the fear is there anyways. So I find that idea, the concept, really quite interesting. And, it should be interesting to see how that plays out in the next episode, because ultimately, here, Bill Potts made such an incredibly monumental choice, right? She handed over the world, right, for the Doctor, right? The love is sincere, the love is pure and all of that, right? That's how much, fixing the Doctor means to her. Of course, there's more to it as well, because she understands, even under pressure, she's able to understand, okay, it's a rock and a hard place type choice here, but okay, if I make this choice now, right, and get the Doctor his eyesight back, and of course I've got my own thoughts about the whole blindness mini arc, but she immediately analyzed the situation, really quite quickly in her mind. A Doctor that is whole, a Doctor that is firing on all cylinders, is a much better shot, right, infinitely better shot at fixing this, right, at rescuing the world, perhaps. Right? Although, even a blind Doctor, I'm sure he could have done something, because, listen, there's still the game changer that's out there. Now, I believe, the fact that she didn't show up here, or she wasn't brought in here in this episode, there's a really good chance that Missy is finally going to enter the stage, right, in this part 3. I really do think that the stage is set, right, for Missy to come in. But now, speaking of the stage itself, it's set for her to come in, but, I don't know. I'm not even able to really speculate how things are going to look in this next episode. I've seen some examples. Hell, let's actually go back to something I mentioned in this episode, right? Series 3 finale, the 2-part finale. It's actually not the finale that has the end of the world subtitle to it or the title to it. I believe Journey's End is the title of the finale, Series 3 finale. Please correct me if I'm wrong. It's been a long time, but, it immediately came to mind because, there you have Martha and just the whole situation is just really quite bizarre, isn't it? And now you have Bill Potts here, right? So maybe there's a similar setup or similarities to that I could see in this upcoming episode. But yeah, I've got to say it's great to see Bill kind of take center stage, even though it's right at the conclusion. Honestly speaking, she kind of takes a bit of a backseat throughout the episode, doesn't she? It's more so Nardole and the doctor. And, before I move on to that, this whole idea of the blindness of the doctor over the past few episodes. I don't know, I suppose, at the end of the day, the doctor's selfish desire to, not disclose his blindness, it does kind of bite them in the ass, right? Not disclose it to Bill, that is. And, because of that, Bill had to make this choice, make this deal. But, like I mentioned during the episode itself, at this point, it got to that point, now it's just bad writing, right? That Bill still hasn't figured it out. I thought it's doing a disservice to the character of Bill, right? That this just goes on and on. She did. She kind of questioned it, right? She finally asks Nardole, what's wrong with the doctor? But, I'm just glad it didn't drag on any further. I feel like it already dragged on a bit too much. It was in the last episode, Extremists, that I thought, okay, Bill, come on. It's clear that the doctor is not able to see. He keeps asking Nardole, or Nardole keeps describing things and explaining things that the doctor does not need to be described, right? Because they're right there in front of our noses, in front of their noses. So I'm glad that's done. But going back to the writing of this episode, it's lackluster for the most part. It really asks the audience to just kind of let a lot of things slide, right? Overlook a lot of things. Be it Nardole immediately just zeroing in on pretty much the exact issue that they need to zero in on, right? There's not even a bit of brainstorming or anything. He immediately goes to bacteria, but then because of that, they easily get to the conclusion that, okay, it is going to be something like that, some kind of leak or a contagion, pandemic, right? How about that, pandemic? But yeah, ultimately a biological threat. But one of the things I did like about this is, the misdirection within the narrative of this episode, right? You've got the monks who are keeping most of these people occupied for the most part until, of course, both Nardole and the doctor figure it out, right? Or the doctor figures it out and then he immediately catches Nardole up and then they figure it out. But yeah, I've been speaking of Bill, the doctor, and Nardole because honestly, that's all there is to really speak of, and that's kind of crazy given the grand scale of this, the grand scope of this, right? Ambitious, really quite ambitious, global political thriller. I've seen it before, really quite recently as well, through the Saigon invasion in the last series, I believe. Yeah, last series. That's crazy, isn't it? There's a lot of supporting cast, and the immediate supporting cast, I've got to say, just not at all compelling, really quite forgettable. Now, if you compare the supporting cast of this one to the last episodes, right, it's kind of night and day. It really is, in my opinion at least. I found those characters, even in the limited appearance, to be really quite engaging, right? Here, it's just not really the case. I just couldn't care less about any of them. I think, the most interesting guest appearance character is Penny, and she's only there momentarily in the beginning of the episode, right? What I think that's one of the standout moments of the episode, and it's before I even get to the credits, the opening credits. Of course, the follow-up date, the actual date. The doctor implores Bill to actually call her up and go meet her, to go see her. And, I thought those are really charming moments. They do have chemistry. The banter is just immaculate, it just felt natural, right? anytime you see natural banter, even if it's in a romantic sense, it just feels so much more, I don't know, acceptable or more engaging, rather, right? I thought it was great, and I do hope, third time's the charm, as I jokingly put earlier on. But let's see how it plays out. Maybe by the ending of the next episode, maybe they could sneak something in. Bill and Penny do get that date, and this time, hopefully, no interruptions. But yeah, one thing from the production standpoint, I really, really like here, and I think I've mentioned this on a few occasions now for Doctor Who, this era of Doctor Who, is, again, the lighting and the photography and the color grading for skin tones, be it South Asian actors, be it black actors. Different shades of skin require a bit of a different approach from time to time, as far as lighting is concerned, as far as color grading is concerned. So I really do appreciate that effort. That's clear to see, right? Now, this might not be something that seems like, something that should be noticed or anything. But yeah, I am a bit of a photography nerd, and of course, post-production as well, and that, aspect of it, color grading. But yeah, I do like that idea of, an ordinary day potentially leading to the end of the world, right? Something that no one is really suspecting, something that no one could predict. One small thing, right? Cause and effect. A chain of events leading to just dramatic consequences, right? That's at play in this episode, as of course our doctor is having a jam session, and of course it transitions back and forth, and it's showing us just an ordinary day, right? A suburb, and then of course, Erica, one of the supporting cast members in this episode, she's, out and about to get to work or leave for work, and, her glasses get smashed, all by accident, right? Much like how, the beer glass smashes the night before for the other guy, right? Tiny things, right? Like I said, big things have small beginnings. These tiny, events, again, part of the whole cause and effect chain, can lead to something like this. But yeah, also the ticking time bomb plot device in this episode, the Doomsday Clock, I thought it does a decent job, an effective job of establishing stakes and tension. And, ultimately, at the heart of this, sometimes, the Doctor simply cannot save the humans, the people in charge, from themselves, right? Because he gets a bit of a reality check once again through one of those humans, right? The American representative tells him straight up, yeah, I finally agree. You understand, Doctor, that ultimately it's not your Earth to save or make a choice over, right? He can try to guide them strongly if needed, but ultimately, it is a bit of a pushback there. It's like, okay, yeah, sure, Doctor President, you've got a lot of experience, but here, the choice is ours. I mean, at the end of the day, it got them killed. But yeah, it's a cool concept, isn't it? That's at play from time to time, that ultimately the Doctor cannot save them from themselves. But yeah, even if it is a bit of a drop-off from the last episode, not the strongest episode, again, if I'm being honest here, but I think the setup is there for something that could be really quite strong, right? And also allows for that opening, right? Missy can come in now. Hopefully. I certainly hope so, But yeah, I think that should do it for this one, folks. If you enjoyed that, consider dropping a like, consider dropping some comments, give me your thoughts. If you're interested in early access or timer-based full length, consider checking out the Patreon page and supporting the channel in the process as well. The links are in the description and the pinned comment. Right then, thank you so much for joining me, folks, and thank you for your time, because time is precious. It really is. And I do hope to see you again soon for the next one. Until then, take it easy.